Situation's critical. So what do we know then? China is recognized as the new U.S. enemy. Trump accuses China of meddling in U.S. elections. China may be behind U.S. midterms meddling, may be behind the taking down of Alex Jones, maybe behind the censoring from Google, Apple, YouTube, and others. The silencing of free thinkers. You know, China is a communist nation. You can't say what you want. There's no freedom of speech there. There's no freedom of the press there. But they paint it to look like Disneyland and Disney World. Come join us. So conservatives, free thinkers, libertarians, whatever you call yourself, if you have a mind of your own, then you are going to have to shut your mouth. I'm not saying that they are, but there's a possibility that the bankroll is coming from them because they're a part of the new agenda. People like Willie D., Candace Owens, Alex Jones, and others have all been silenced. And all the presidents since Ronald Reagan went along with it, Bush went along with it, especially Clinton. He's the #1 reason why China's in the position that they're in now. Globalization. The new world pecking order, one world order, world governance. It's happening now. You know, like they had already slated China years ago, man, to be the #1. The one belt, one road, unstoppable. The military is expanding. They're taking control of the South China Sea. They're doing business with pretty much every country on the face of the earth, enemy and ally alike. And looks like America's old news. Just we don't realize it yet. Now we're going to see if President Trump being in there is a good thing or a bad thing, because we already see that our last president, President Obama, the Kenyan, he called himself that. He said he was the first Kenyan president of America. First president of America from Kenya is what he said the other week.
And I think it makes all of us who are Obamas or claim to be Obamas extraordinarily proud. Now, 3 years ago, I visited Kenya as the first sitting American president to come from Kenya. And when I was president, it was a little bit harder to get up here because my plane didn't fit the tarmac up here. And while 3 years ago my sister Alma introduced me before I gave a speech, today I'm really coming as a brother, as a citizen of the world.
So he was a globalist. Globalism is bad. See? You're not a citizen of your nation or a citizen of your country. You're a citizen of the world. And then so you're voting for your local, city, state, government, country government or whatever, it's doesn't do you any good, because power is centrally controlled from somebody in some other country who knows where. You know, some big pie in the sky, somebody's telling you what to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's why they want to do away with borders, and they're going to have to do that in order to solidify, in order to finalize this NWO. So how do you resist if they're going to strip the power from the politicians, who the people you put in power to cast your vote for you?
We're all in serious danger, ladies and gentlemen.
What does Twitter say to you? What do Google, what do the executives say to you when you take them on? I mean, do you send letters to them? Do you have your attorney to deal with them? What response are you getting on a legal basis as to why this is happening?
Look, Google has made the decision, along with Apple, to deplatform everyone and bring in authoritarianism. They've already made the deal and merged with China. Do you understand, folks? China is running the show. They own all 6 major Hollywood production houses. They own the national debt. They bought off all of our politicians. They were given the Panama Canal. They have 98% of rare earth minerals. You think the Chinese government got 98% of rare earth minerals by accident? Federal regulators preclude U.S. firms from extracting them. Anti-organized crime law firms that recognize that Mueller and the Clintons are an organized crime network, and that big tech is an organized crime network allied with the foreign power China, and that they're using the Russia canard as a smokescreen for this takeover.
What action do you want him to take today? What do you want him to take? What do you want to do today?
I want the president to move with Sherman Antitrust Act 2 to enforce the First Amendment and end not just monopoly practices in business by the big tech giants, but their criminal collusion to violate the civil rights of the American people, and to violate the Unfair Housing Act, which he's already doing with Facebook, but to move aggressively with federal regulators and the Federal Trade Commission, and to move aggressively with a special office that he needs to direct be set up in the FBI to move as a clear and present danger against the election meddling of the Communist Chinese, the Democratic Party, Hollywood, and the globalists attempting to overthrow this move to restore the republic back to the people.
Specifically, what do you want?
It's a national security issue. The Russians are babies compared to the Communist Chinese allied with the big banks in Hollywood.
You have to resist by doing. And resist by doing. So China is already the de facto superpower, lone superpower, leader of the NWO. So either you're with them or you're against them. So the U.S. war versus China is in full swing. We see, or we will see, you know, where we've been under attack by China in several theaters. Sonic attacks. And Trump's plan to woo Russia failed. He wanted to talk to Putin and try to get close to Russia and do some business deals. Nah. China runs the Dems. China runs, you know, California and a lot of other states. They've become very powerful, and it's now they may be too big, too powerful to defang. The dragon is slowly got its wrapped around the neck of the American citizens and the American government. It's going to squeeze and try to choke the life out of everybody. And what about Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea plotting the downfall of the U.S.? My guess is after September 9th, all bets are off. Because what we'll see The Rocket Man. He's not going to denuclearize. Just that one little meeting moved the pieces on the chessboard so much that South Korea was already in fear. Any move that he made, you know, it looks like it was a move toward peace, they were going to jump on it. And they have. We're going to see South Korea taking over. They're going into captivity by the North Koreans and China, the grand puppet masters. So they're a puppet on the string. Not many allies we have left in Asia. We see Japan start to try to do business with China. We have Malaysia, Vietnam, and a few others, but they're small. No match for China. They get thumped around like ants. We have Germany moving to the alliance, Russia and China and the BRICS. But one thing about Russia, the reason why Trump thought he could deal with Russia, Russia plans to part ways with the new NWO. They're really not playing ball. If you remember, at the Bilderberg meeting, it was like they wanted to know about populism, what they were going to do about populism. Well, they had Russia on there. What are they going to do about Russia? Putin, really. What are we going to do about Trump? So everything is in full press. This is the most dangerous time ever. They got Alex Jones, the biggest fish in the sea, independent. So if false flags happen, I mean, these other people are peons. You know, all these platforms put together probably is not going to reach what he reached to expose whatever happens or whatever they're planning for us. So buckle up. It's going to be a rough landing.
Google and Apple are officially moving to China. They are helping censor and round up the political dissidents, the Buddhists and the Christians and others who are then taken and worked to death and their organs harvested. The truth is, Facebook and Google are giant Democrat Party bots. China is running the show. They own all 6 major Hollywood production houses. They bought off all of our politicians. They were given the Panama Canal.